Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host, Daren Mcclimans. Hope everyone is doing well this Thursday afternoon. Today I'm joined by the amazing, the wonderful, the fantastic Benjamin. Ben, how's it going, man? How's it going?
Hello. What a nice intro. I'm good. This is really awesome. I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. It is so great to have you here. It's always fun to get to meet some new people who are just really just nerdy and just a fun time to talk with. We were talking about earlier, if you don't mind me like saying this, you have a really cool job. You it sounds like you have a really fun job.
Thank you. Yeah, so well, I'm cabin crew, but that's flight attendant.
Sure.
Most people don't know about cabin crew. They're like, oh, flight attendant. No, so yeah, I for a big airline, fly around short haul, long haul all the time. Oh, a lot of America. I'm in America, which is why I get on Americans so well. I love America. But yeah, and then outside of that, I'm just obsessed with films and obsessed with Marvel and all the good stuff. All the good stuff.
That's amazing, man. It must be very fun to just get to see all these new places and things and stuff, right?
It's really cool. Yeah. Like I said, I actually, so I'd never been to America before I joined this job, and it was one of my big things because I grew up on Hollywood and film, and obviously I was the culture was so embedded in my brain and my upbringing and stuff. So then when I finally got to go through this job, it was just and I love it. I still love it.
That sounds like a lot of fun, man. That's awesome.
Of course, I do go to other places apart from America, but but it's just my favorite. I'm not just saying that because you're American, I promise.
You're the best. You're no. But no, thank you for being here. It's been a weird week for just movie news and stuff like that, because obviously the writer's strike ended last week or a week and a half ago, and that's been great. And since then, it almost feels like people have kind of just forgotten that the actor strike is still going on as well. It felt like we were so close to being done with it, and it's well, we're still struggling to get that through and get them paid as well.
Hollywood is still very much in shutdown mode, I feel. Do you know what I mean? It's there's still not a huge amount of news and everything. Yeah, we kind of forgot about the actors strike and stuff, and really until that stops, normal business is just not going to resume, is it?
Yeah.
And with all the news we've been getting, 90% of it is now through scoopers on Twitter and stuff, because there's no nothing official is being released anymore. So we're in this weird space of just a sort of rumor mill just all the time. Which so it will be nice when they get that resolved. Although apparently haven't they negotiations have not gone well lately from the sound of it.
It seems I don't know what's going on. I kind of figured that once the writers kind of got going, I was oh, if they're getting paid well, so are the actors, if people love actors. But seeming there's still a struggle there. They still don't want to give them everything, and maybe they gave the writers too good of a deal, and now they're well, we're giving them all this money, I don't want to give the actors this money too. But just pay them. We can be done with this. We can move forward.
Just pay them. This is the thing. Come on,
so
guys.
simple. Yeah.
I know. And also when they say so they want 2%, which the studios are apparently oh, that's ridiculous. How dare they ask that? Because they reckon it's going to cost what 800 million to the studio, or up to $1 billion a year, which apparently is going to be so detrimental and all this kind of stuff to them. But it just seems like nothing for how much. You know what I mean?
It is 2%. Yeah, you just do it. It's
it's crazy. It's crazy because also all the people making these decisions as well. It's when a good film comes out or a good TV show or any of this kind of stuff, that's not down to these people. It's the creatives that make it what it is. Do you know what I mean? So you wouldn't have the thing that's making you all this money without these people. So just give them what they want.
100%. Yeah, just pay them, get that going. It'd be amazing. I'm hoping within the next month or so we can kind of get that going. And I think it is very smart that they settled the writers first, for they can get writing, they can get going on all that stuff, and then maybe eventually we'll get the actors.
I was just devastated. Deadpool 3 was halfway through filming, right?
And they had a week left, I think. They were so close.
literally, they were so close, and it was filming. Funny story, it was literally filming like 30 minutes from my door as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought about like just driving over to the set and just being like, I don't know, seeing what I could see.
Hey, wait.
And then, yeah, just to see. But then the day that I was going to do that was literally the day that the actors' strike started, so they stopped filming. I was like,
so close.
Mm.
Let's say hi to chat really quick. Stranger is here. Howdy, stranger. How's it going? Andrew is here. Andrew, how's it going? One Marvel fan is here. How's it going? Jose is here. And Jose says, who's ready for the Marvels one more month? I'm really excited for this movie. I know there's certain parts of the internet that's not. I'm personally very excited.
I'm excited too. That's the thing. And I'm trying to separate my excitement, because I like any Marvel film that comes out, right? I'm just like counting down the days. But I'm trying to. Do I think it'll be good, and do I think it will do well? Are two things. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing I'm kind of grappling with right now. Like, like I think I'm very excited for it, and I think it'll be awesome. Hopefully, but like we've seen the chink in Marvel's sort of armor. Do you know what I mean? The damage has been done a little bit lately, especially with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So I'm sort of worried. I'm worried for it.
Yeah, this has been a weird year for Marvel, where I still have enjoyed a lot of it, but I definitely think we're at a point where it's like, yeah, you need to be doing some fixing up, and obviously the like Daredevil stuff came out this week, which we will talk about. I have several things to talk about later. Jose talked about it. What a situation that was. What a thing.
Like, it's not a good look, is it? It's not like for Marvel. It's really, really not. And like, how many episodes did they shoot as well? Like,
I think a good bit. I think that they were at least like halfway done.
Yeah, right. Like they were shooting that for a bit. I'm like, what? So they're just like, all, like just scrapped. Like, and what's all this stuff about? That he wasn't going to put the costume on until like episode 4 or something. Yeah. What?
We will definitely talk about that in much more detail as we kind of get going here.
So I'm just so eager.
I know. It's such insane stuff. I've been so excited to talk about the stuff. It's
literally I'm just thinking about it all day. Just like
Absolutely. Alrighty, I'm going to jump into our first news story here. Some interesting stuff for Gen V fans, if anyone's out there watching. Gen V, the second season of Gen V already has a writer's room, despite not officially being greenlit yet. Are you watching the show at all? Are you excited for a potential season 2? Are you enjoying the first season, if you are watching?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. And I love The Boys. The Boys is like my show. It's the one that when it comes out, I am just like, I absolutely cannot touch the internet if I don't watch it instantly. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, it's just, The Boys is sacred. So no, I sort of had my doubts about Gen V. I was like, will it sort of live up to? But it's really good. It's really good. Like, it's different enough, but retains the same. So yeah, season 2. Yeah, please, yes, please.
Yeah, it's so insane. We talked about last week if this was going to be like a one-off kind of season. If this was going to be, would it get a season 2? Would it get a season 3? Like, what was the long goal for Gen V? And it seems like they do have plans for multiple seasons, which is very good to hear. I would be shocked if they weren't greenlit at some point, because it seems like the show's doing very well. It seems like everyone's kind of talking about it, which is very cool to see as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's doing a lot better. I mean, it's better than I thought it was going to be, and it's also doing better than I thought it would, which is just the nicest surprise, you know. So like, no, I'm up for it, and I also like the way that it's tying into The Boys season 4 with the Homelander hints and stuff. It's not the way that what I'm getting from it is that it's like they're giving us enough story plot points, like, you know, Homelander on trial, this kind of thing, but it doesn't seem like if you didn't watch Gen V, it would be absolutely essential before you watched, which I quite like. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't like it, because I think Marvel have like alienated a lot of people by doing that sort of thing in some ways, and it's great for people like us, but not everyone does watch the other stuff. Sure. But, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that like they have talked about, how Gen V is going to like directly connect to The Boys season 4. Yeah, 4. And I've been very curious how much of that is going to be the case. Like, do you have to watch the show to understand the boys? I think that wouldn't be the smartest. I never think that's the smartest outcome. But at the same time, like, I talked about it earlier during the week, and I had said, like, I think it'd be very cool if one of these, like, teen characters does become a member of the, like, Seven at some point, and, like, we get to see their, like, origin story to that point. I think that could be cool, but I think you'd have to do it in a way that doesn't directly be like, okay, you have to watch this to understand this.
That's the thing. If that does happen, which would be really, really cool, we get a new member of the Seven through Gen V, it would have to be like cool that we've seen her origin, or her or he, or whoever this character's origin story is. But if someone were to just carry straight onto The Boys season 4 from season 3, they're like, oh, this is just a new character that I like. Like, no, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I get what you're saying. That would be my hope. That'd be my hope.
Yeah. I think that'd be very cool if they could do it well. And it's kind of like what we've done each season. Like we didn't have all this backstory on all these other, like, new members that we get. So I could see it working. I could see it being cool. For sure.
I think so.
Jose said, will we get it renewed before season 2, after the Gen V finale? I that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think maybe even before, like, because it's doing quite well, right? Like, I don't know, maybe even like prior to the final of this season. I don't know. I can see that.
Yeah, I wonder. They probably can't until after the strikes, right? So maybe that's the only thing. Yeah. Like maybe they can start writing it, but they can't officially, like, greenlit it yet. So, like, I wouldn't be shocked if like they already knew, like, hey, this is happening, so start writing, but we can't officially greenlit it yet. So maybe that's the case. I don't know.
That would make sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I mean, that would be my bet. So maybe within the next couple of weeks, and, you know, there's only 4 weeks left. Like we are already halfway through, which is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's gone really quick, actually. I didn't think about that. And obviously, with Loki coming out as well and stuff, it's like, suddenly stuff started coming out again in, like, the last
Invincible next month, and, like, there's a lot. Doom Patrol also just came back, as, you know, for those who watch that show. Like, it's been a crazy, it's gonna be a crazy rest of the year, I think.
We had a big drought. We had, like, a drought for, like, a few months, and now everything's coming out again. Which we like, which is it's a good place to be in.
It is. It's just kind of stressful for people that, like, try to cover it and try to, like, consume it all, and it's like, this is a lot.
That's it. I do have a lot of that trouble with my job as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually, like, watching all this stuff and then like not having stuff spoiled for me, because I'm as bad as everyone else. I can't. Like, I can't not go. Really, it sounds bad, but I can't not go on social media and stuff. So, like, if I really, I have to, like, make an active. Do you know what I mean? Do not go on anything. And stuff always, like, you know, people always post spoilers and stuff. But, like,
I've had that issue with, like, the, like, Marvel Disney Plus stuff for a while, because, like, they would come out, like, for me at, like, 3 a.m, and then I forget about it when I wake up, and I just go on Twitter, and it's like, dang it, I forgot. And now I'm happy that, like, they're having it come out at, like, a normal time for at least us. So it's nice. I don't know when it comes out for you guys. But
what time is it here? I think it's an unsociable hour. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it comes out while I'm sleeping, or if I was in this country. But, like, I do exactly the same thing, because I feel like when we wake up, most people instinctively, the first thing you're going to do is just go on, like, Facebook or Twitter or something like that. So I feel it so many times as well, where I'm like, oh no, I forgot. And it's always a picture. It's always a picture they post as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but this is
so hard to avoid it.
It is. But it just means that it helps you prioritize, because if you really, really, really want it, you know what I mean? It must be really good to avoid that. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Let's move on here. This one's a little different than what we normally talk about. The Disney Plus Tiana series based on the Princess and the Frog movie, finally coming out next year. I'm not sure if you care about this at all. I'm a big fan of, like, the, like, animated Disney stuff. I've been excited for this for a while. It was announced, like, 4 years ago, and like since then we've been like, when is this coming out? And apparently it's finally coming out next year. I'm excited for this. Do you have any interest in this, like, at all?
Okay, so no, definitely interest, but I'm not aware of it really. Like it. So did you say it's to do with, is it like a connected to Princess and the Frog? Is that?
Yes. It's like a sequel series. Yeah.
Oh, amazing! Oh no, see, like I love that film. I just didn't know this was coming, but that's a nice treat.
Yeah, I mean they've done nothing. Like, stuff. Yeah, like they have like I was at a point where it's like, did they cancel it? Like, when is it coming out? And Disney Plus has been a weird beast for me because I've talked about it on here for a while that there's not a lot that they have going for them currently. Like, they don't have a lot of like original content. And especially when it comes to like the Disney stuff, like Marvel, Star Wars, yeah, they're putting out stuff. Disney has not had much. Like, they've had the like Muppet stuff a little bit. They've had some of the shorts. They haven't had a lot. So I've been excited for some of these actual shows to come out.
No, that's fair, because I mean it's mostly Marvel and Disney, and Marvel and Star Wars, isn't it? like 90% of the stuff it's mostly those, and it's great that like as a streaming service they do need to have like more stuff on offer, really. Yeah, like I think they did. I haven't watched it, but didn't they do a Full Monty sequel series recently?
What?
The Full Monty, the film. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so like it's like a British comedy that came out in like the 90s, and there's like and it's got like Robert Carlyle actors. Like, it's a really, really good film.
Sure.
But like there's like as weird. There's a sequel series to it on Disney Plus, and I saw that the other day. I was like, what? Like I don't know if that's like in America it's on Hulu, and because we don't have Hulu, it could be, yeah. That might be because it's just one thing over here for us. But I don't think either way Disney did that apparently. So that's something.
Yeah, and like it is rumored that same thing's going to happen to us. They're just going to kind of merge together, and I kind of hope that's the case because Hulu doesn't have much either. I feel like they don't have a lot of good original content they're pushing out. So who knows?
I've not really used like Hulu, but I mean, like over here, like we get because it's all one. It's really cool because on Disney Plus we get like Family Guy and The Simpsons and all that kind of stuff. So like, which is pretty cool. So I'd imagine eventually it'll get the same way for you guys as well.
Yeah, I would assume so at some point. Alrighty, let's talk about this a little bit. So, new castings for Superman Legacy and Fantastic Four are coming after the strike. Now, this isn't a shock. Like, this isn't some breaking news, but it does feel like a lot of these directors and a lot of these studios, they have these castings in hand, ready for them to come out, but they can't do it yet for obvious reasons. So kind of thoughts on both of these. For like the Superman one especially, I've been saying I think they have at least Jimmy Olsen in hand. Like, I think they know who's going to be Jimmy. Thoughts on this at all?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I even think they might have Lex Luthor cast already.
Same.
I think there's a good chance, right? Because there was just before the strikes, we had all those reports about like Nicholas Hoult and like all the Alexander Skarsgård and all that. Because I think they've got their Lex as well, personally. But I'm like, it's weird, right? So the casting so far, like, it's been awesome. It's been perfect, right?
Yes.
Like, really, really good stuff. But then, like, it is starting to, like, I think, like a lot of people, the whole, like, all of these extra DC characters in it is starting to worry me a little bit. Like, and it excites me. Like, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, that's awesome. That's really so cool. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I trust James Gunn. I wholeheartedly trust James Gunn, 100%. But I'm just like, please, it needs to be good. It needs to it needs to be.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I just want a new Superman movie. I love Superman. He's like my hero. I think he's amazing. Yeah, he's so good. And I was a little worried at first. I was a little shocked, like a Hawk Girl and a Green Lantern and like a Mr. Terrific, right? Like, those are very odd choices for a Superman movie when I first kind of heard it. And then he had talked about, well, why are all these heroes in a Superman movie? And like, I think the way he talked about it was very interesting, where it's like, well, like, we have Lois Lane and Jimmy and Perry White as part of the life of Clark Kent, and then a Hawk Girl and Green Lantern and stuff like that are part of the like Kal-El life and the part of his Superman life and the part his life as a superhero. And I thought that was very interesting, and I thought that was a very interesting take. in like a world that he seems to be building where superheroes seems to be everywhere. Like it seems like superheroes are such a massive thing already, which is a very interesting take as well, because like typically Superman's like one of the first. Like he appears and then like everyone else follows. So I do think it's very interesting that we are jumping into that world a little bit. But I am with you. There was a part of me that was like, interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like I just like, and the things, I'm all for a new DC universe. Like we desperately need it and everything, of course. But at the same time, I was like, if we could just have a really, really good Superman film just once, that was like we haven't had. Do you know what I mean? We haven't had a really, really, really good Superman film since like 1982 or whatever it was, or 1980 was it? Like which is crazy. I dig, and I like Superman Returns, and I like Man of Steel, both for like different reasons. Same. But do you know what I mean? But at the same time, like I was a bit like, oh, can we just let him have this one? But we'll see what James Gunn does.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah, I get it. I also I understand also why, because I do feel like we are also like so behind on like the superhero movie phase, right? Because like there are so many people that are already kind of done with like the superhero movies and stuff like that. So I also think it's important for James Gunn to be like, yeah, we need to get the ball moving, like we need to get our thing established as soon as possible.
Yeah. Before
everything kind of falls apart on us. So.
which is devastatingly what has been happening the last couple of years, really. And it's like I keep saying, I'm like Marvel and DC, but mainly sort of more Marvel, because they were so like just breaking my heart lately. You know, it's like we're starting to like with the stuff we love the most, right? The superhero stuff, like all of it. It's like we're sort of watching it crumble a little bit. Yeah. You know,
it's been a rough couple of years for like DC on both on both like TV and movies. Like it's been rough.
It's been really rough. Like even the Arrowverse, I loved the Arrowverse back in its like prime, back in its like I loved the Arrowverse, and even that like it sort of went out on like a whimper and stuff, and it's like
the last 3 or so years were really rough as far as really just like. Rough. Not even talking about the content they're putting out. Just like we're canceling this and this person's leaving and we're recasting this and we're gonna like selling all this to this and then this is getting changed to a new thing. It's like it was rough. It was a rough couple years. Like the fans that stuck with it are insane.
Literally, I came back for the last season of The Flash. I came back for the last one. But out of loyalty and respect, I was like, no, I'm gonna see this out, and I watched every single one. Some of it was a hard slog. But some of it was great. Like I'm going to use the word great. I mean, like maybe like 2 or 3 episodes of it were pretty damn good. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've seen every Arrowverse season, and it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, and you know, like that's kind of been the main thing that we talked about on the channel for years. Like that's kind of how I got our start with those shows.
Nice.
It's final season of Flash kind of broke my heart a little bit. It was hard to watch at times. Like there's some good episodes in there, but
mixed in. Like some of them, and a lot of time dedicated to like for the final season of like such a big show, like that started so much and everything. Like it just a lot of episodes dedicated to characters that I didn't care so much for.
100%.
You know what I mean? I was like, I just feel a bit ripped off it. But the episode with Stephen Amell was awesome. That was really
good. So
really good. I loved that. And that was like our last little dying breath of like the greatness that used to be the Arrowverse. You know, they gave us one like that episode. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, it's I liked episode 9 and episode 10. I think those two are standouts. There's a couple in there that I don't hate. I think they're solid, but then the rest are kind of like, I don't know. I hate hating on it too much, but
I know. I'm the same. I love it all. But like, you know, I think it's when they reach such a high point, it's like if you're going to get that good, then you got to stay at that point.
Yeah.
You know, like. But no, I love it all. I just like.
Absolutely. And then Fantastic Four. Now, we shouldn't include Fantastic Four here because we've heard the headline that we're getting the casting soon for like 2.5, 3 years. I've said this on here before. I am so sick of Fantastic Four fan casting. I'm so done with it.
Like how many San Diego Comic Cons have they been like, oh, they're gonna have the cast come out from this one? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wish I was more excited for that movie, and I think just like it feels like we've done nothing with it for the last several years, and it's like, is it even a real movie? Like, who's involved? What's the villain? What's? Let me know literally anything about this film. It's kind of insane.
I mean, it's on its second director now. It's had how many rewrites? It's like it doesn't look good normally, historically speaking, when a film is in trouble for this long and has all these kind of, it doesn't end up good, right? This is what happened with the 2015 one as well, right? Like,
yeah.
I just, yes, I'm burned out by it. And also, why don't they just get Krasinski for it? Like, it seems like they're having trouble casting this film. Just get him to do it, you know? Like, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I'm curious because like he at one point in time said he didn't want like a big Marvel thing, and then he did it, and that was cool. And like in that moment, I was just like, okay, he's our Fantastic Four now. Like he's the guy now. I had no issue with him. A lot of people hate him in this role.
Yeah,
I'm just like, yeah, he's fine. I'm not like an expert on like the Fantastic Four. I don't know everything about them, so maybe that's it. Like maybe they know something I don't. I think he's fine. I think he would have been fine.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of The Office, so I'm all for him being, Jim from The Office being this like handsome action hero. Now I'm all for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I think it'd be really funny if he still was like after like 2 years worth of like who's Fantastic Four. If it's still just him, I think it would be hilarious.
It would be. Maybe they need a win that right now though. Maybe Marvel, like, do you know what I mean? Maybe it's like,
yeah.
Because I feel like overall, that would go over pretty well. I don't know. I feel like
people would get over it.
Yeah. I think it'd be received much better than if Matt Smith was Mr. Fantastic. And I love Matt Smith, but I don't know if he would be a popular.
I didn't see that casting. No, I didn't see Matt at all.
No, I love him, but I just don't see him as Mr. Fantastic. Or really, Adam Driver. And I know Adam Driver's a fantastic actor and they do a really good job, but he's still not what I sort of imagined. But, you know, I don't know.
I think Adam Driver would have been a very good, different Reed Richards. Like, I think he would have transformed the character around him as an actor.
Yes.
But, like, he's not what I picture as, like, Reed. But I don't think that's always a bad thing. Like, I think he would have become that character.
Of course, yeah. No, it's not always a bad thing. And like that's, you know, all like, I mean, do you remember how much people shit on like Heath Ledger when he was cast as the Joker and stuff? Like, you know, like, so sometimes these things turn out amazing. But no, for me, like, I still think the original 2005 film, like, I
really like that movie.
I really like that film. I saw it at the cinema as a kid. I really like it, and the casting was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years for them, but I hope they can turn it around. I hope they can. I mean, like, they just announced, or they didn't announce it, but like they said last week that like, hey, we're starting with like the X-Men. It's like, we haven't heard about the Fantastic Four yet. How did the X-Men get going before Fantastic Four? That's insane.
Well, we've still got old X-Men coming back as well. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, because they're looking. Kevin Feige's looking for writers now, isn't he? Apparently.
Yeah. Get that going.
Nuts. Yeah. It's like, what about Blade as well? Where's that? Like, where's the Rally's Blade?
Yeah. Let's kind of talk about this because it's kind of a one-in-one here. So apparently the Fantastic Four film is doing things very differently from any other Marvel films from what we're hearing. That's what the scoopers are saying, and that's what people are saying. We've heard the same line of dialogue for like every superhero movie that ever comes out from either Marvel or if it's like DC. It's like, this is something totally new and totally different. Now, I'm not saying it's not true. It could be true. They could be doing something totally different than any other comic book movie has before. Do you believe this? Do you think it is going to be something like fresh and new?
See, I would like to hope so, but I mean, it's well trodden ground at this point, right? Like, I think, and okay, so all these leaks are sort of saying, they've been saying for a while now that it's going to be set in the 60s or something, or they're going to like. They're going to come from the 60s and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, that would be cool because we've never really seen
Yeah.
We've never, do you know what I mean? We've never seen that. Not, well, I'm sure not that I can think of. You know, we haven't seen like that big superheroes like set in like predominantly that time. We had Captain America: First Avenger, obviously, but '60s, not so much. So maybe that could be cool in terms of like the cosmic side of it. If that's what they're talking about with like, it's going to be this groundbreaking new different thing. I'm kind of like, I don't know, like show me what you what you got. I'll you know, I'll believe it when I see it. But the fact that the fact that like they've got, you know, it's gone through all these sort of production issues and stuff, maybe makes me think more that like they're not sure what to do with it, you know, rather than, so maybe I'm all for the '60s thing, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's very weird because like they have gone through so many different versions of this movie as well. Like the early rumors were like they were set, like they've been trapped in like the quantum realm for 50 years, you know, like whatever it was, and like at one point in time we heard that it wasn't going to be like an origin story, which was kind of interesting. Where, because I don't know if Fantastic Four are those kind of heroes where you, like, I feel like you need to do some kind of origin story, because I don't feel like my aunt Susan wouldn't know like who the Human Torch is, unlike a Spider-Man or a Batman or something, right? So I think you need some sort of origin story. So I don't know. I just, give me something with this movie. Like, start with the casting. Obviously, we need to see whose faces are in front. I think that's the start of any movie. Like, that's the start. Like, why do you get excited for any movie? Well, you know who's involved. You know who's writing. You know who's directing. Those are the things we need to know. So
exactly.
Hopefully soon.
hopefully, it's been. I think after the actor strike ends as well. Yeah, they need to just make an onslaught of like announcements. Like, we want the cast of this. I think, and not just Marvel, but a lot of movie studios. I think they need to get things moving again. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think once it's officially over, we're going to get so much news coming out. We're going to get this. It's going to be like an explosion. It's going to be like a Comic-Con just happened or something. We got all this news. Like, oh my gosh!
That's what I want. That's really what I want. It's what I need. We've had months now where there's just like nothing. It's like, so no, fantastic forecast. I do think I do think it'll be soon. I think it'll be like in the next 6 months. Right, I think that's realistic.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
100%. Like,
I mean, I would say within the. I mean, I guess it just depends when the strike ends. I would say by the end of the year. I would say.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. That's in my mind. That's what I've been sort of like thinking, but I don't know. We don't know. I hope it's over by the end of the year. Get everything filming again. Get some announcements. That's that's what we need.
Alrighty, let's move along here over to DC. This is kind of interesting. Now, I do want to say this with like a grain of salt, because this hasn't yet come out of the mouth of James Gunn. This hasn't directly came out of the mouth of anyone over there, but it's like all the main trades are like running with it, and I was like, I at least want to talk about this. So it seems like the cast of the DCEU Justice League, this lovely group of people, mostly lovely group of people, I don't know, will all be recast for James Gunn's DCU. Now, this is something I've said they needed to do. I thought it was something that was, I kind of assumed that was the case once Henry was out. I was like, he's not coming back. None of them are. But it's been a weird couple months, especially with Gal and especially with Jason. A lot of rumors being like, no, they'll be back. And like, Aquaman still has a movie coming out after Flash. And then the whole stuff with Gal a couple months ago, the crazy stuff over like, she's back, but also she's not back, but she lied, but she didn't lie. Like, it's been a weird couple months for this folk. So apparently, they're all out. They're all getting recasted. Do you believe this? Do you think that this is true?
Yes, I do think so. I'm like you. I think, and the thing is, I've got a lot of love for like the Snyderverse and like this, not like to the crazy extent of some people on Twitter and stuff, right? But I do really like all that stuff, and I like a lot of the DC films, like more than a lot of people, I'd say. But even I have been like, it needs to be a hard reboot. Like the time has come, right? Like we're all sick of it now. So I think, the Justice League will all be recast, I think. But obviously we know that James Gunn, I don't think he's too fussed. He's obviously not very fussed about the Justice League actors. he wants to keep around his guys, right? He wants. So we know that John Cena's Peacemaker's coming back, which I'm very happy with. But again, though, like it muddies the waters. I'm pretty sure we've got Amanda Waller. She's coming back.
Yep.
Blue Beetle apparently as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did they say?
And Vigilante as well from his Peacemaker.
Yes, Vigilante.
Show. Those are the 4.
So those are the 4, and like there's also been a lot of sort of like back and forth about like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, right? And I figure she was in the Suicide Squad. I'd be willing to bet she's going to stay as well. So like muddies the waters a lot, but like if we're but the actual Justice League themselves, yeah, like I think they'll be like hard rebooted and like recast, and that's kind of. And again, I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's like she very much she is Wonder Woman, you know, like because I didn't grow up watching the Linda, was it Linda Carter, the Wonder Woman TV show? Yeah, Linda Carter. So I didn't like grow up watching it. Obviously, I know of it stuff, but like, so I didn't have like a live action Wonder Woman. So Gal Gadot, you know, so it was like iconic stuff, but she's too heavily tied to like just a broken universe, right?
Yeah.
And the same goes for all of them. So yeah, and we've already got our new Superman, obviously Ben Affleck. Like he like for years it's been like he's not coming back, and then he keeps on, he keeps on doing more. I love him as well, but no. And then Ezra, I mean, no way.
No, they were not coming back.
No way. So but obviously, they reckon that like Aquaman, Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo, right? So
that
seems to be the prevailing. Yeah.
I mean, we can kind of just talk about that now, and then go back to that. So yeah, I mean, this has been a rumor for a while that Jason Momoa has like that's been a character he's always said, hey, I really want to play Lobo. Like that's a character I love. I'm really passionate about that character. And he just is Lobo. Like I think he just acts and looks just like Lobo. He'd be a fantastic Lobo. There's a reason probably why he wants to be Lobo. I could just give it to him. Like Lobo is not like a high profile like it's not like Superman. It's not like a Flash. Like just give him Lobo. Like I see no reason why he shouldn't play Lobo.
he was born to play Lobo. Like you said, look at him. He's like
that's just Lobo.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever looked more like Lobo like ever. But and also a Lobo film as well. I mean, obviously, presumably that character would be integrated like heavily into the whole universe with Jason Momoa. But at the same time, like a Lobo movie doesn't need to be really expensive either. You know, it's like he's not like a household name or anything. I think they can do a Lobo movie with Jason Momoa fairly cheap, right? Like by Hollywood standards. So I think it would kind of make sense. But do you think it'd confuse like people that aren't as in it as us, right? Like would it confuse them? Wouldn't it? Would it confuse them? I don't know.
I think you just cover him in a lot of makeup. Like make him like maybe change his hair a little bit, make him the least looking Aquaman-like as you possibly can. They would put a lot. I'm sure they would, but they would have to put a lot of makeup on him. But and I also think audiences aren't dumb. Like I think audiences know when a character is just recasted. Like some stuff I can understand where they're like confused. Like if you have like Wonder Woman coming back and it's like, wait, that doesn't make sense because we have a new Superman. Like, I understand that. Like, that would be confusing. But I think if you just say, hey, this guy, he's playing a different character this time, I think that's okay. I don't think people would have a massive hard time with that.
I do think as well, Jason Momoa as Lobo is the key thing in, like, the recast in the Justice League, because I think that would be because it seems like he's going to be Lobo, right? And if he's going to be Lobo, they can't have him stood next to Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, right? Like, because they can't have that. Because then that would be the point where, or any of the Justice League, and that would be the point when audiences would be like, wait a minute, what? Like, I think so. I do think he'll be Lobo and they recast him all. But it works. I just like it. Just at this point, like I think the DC brand is so damaged. It pains me to say that. But I think it's so damaged that, like, for a while, every single project that comes out of this new DC universe is going to have to be an absolute banger. Do you know what I mean? Every single one is going to have to be really good to bring this all back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who think it can't be fixed, and I don't think that's so true. Like, I think it can definitely be fixed. I just think we need time.
I think so too. We need time and quality. That's
Yeah.
what.
I think we will get it. I think we are going to like. I think we're about to start. Like after Aquaman, I'm not saying that movie's not going to be good because it could be, but after that, we have Joker 2 coming out. I think that will be very good. We have The Penguin coming out. I think that will be very good. And then we start the new era of James Gunn's world. And I trust him so much as just a filmmaker, as a creative. Yes. And like we're bringing in so many good directors and people behind the scenes, so many good actors. I think Superman is going to be good. I think Batman's going to be good. I think Waller is going to be good. I trust that process so much, and I think just the way he talks about filmmaking is so inspiring. It's like, yeah, that like everything you say, and like it could all be lies, right? He's not like he hasn't lied before. He said The Flash was amazing, so like I get it, but his process, the way he talks about film and what he loves about film, I think is amazing, and I'm trusting that process, and I hope it's good.
I'm with you. Like I can spend a considerable amount of time just watching James Gunn talk, like interviews. Sometimes I just sit there on YouTube just watching interviews of James Gunn talk because when he's a guest on Michael Rosenbaum's Inside Your podcast, I sit there, I love it. Like you said, the way he talks about there's something. I love James Gunn. Like love James Gunn. So I think I trust him. But also, outside of that, like you said, Joker 2, the Batman 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the. I mean, they should be amazing.
And like, yeah, I mean, I think like people say it can't be fixed, but like, look at like superhero fans every time there's like a good MCU project. They're always like, Marvel is back, baby. Like, just get 3 good Marvel, or just get like 3 good like DC movies, like in a row. People will be like, this is better than the like Dark Knight trilogy. Like, we do that anyway. Like, it's not going to be hard.
Exactly. I think that's the thing as well. Like, do you remember Spider-Man No Way Home? That was only 2 years ago. And I remember at that point when that came out, like, that wasn't that long ago. At that point when that came out, and everyone was like, oh my God, it's the new Endgame. And it was basically, like, it had that same effect kind of thing. So it's going to be exactly the same for DC. Like, we just need 3 really, really, really good DC films that come out, like, near to each other. Like, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little harder to bring back like casual fans who maybe don't watch every DC movie. Like maybe they haven't seen a movie since like the like second Wonder Woman movie or something, and they're like, I don't know, I that's too dark and gritty, or like whatever they think DC is currently, and it is going to be hard bringing people back in, I think, but
yeah, I think so. They've got one hell of a job on their hands.
Yeah.
I mean. We'll see. But I mean, like, it is going to be hard to bring people back. I think even, like we've said, like even Marvel's at the point now where like I think they're losing viewers. So like DC have really got a hard job on their hands, which is so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, I think superhero media is at an interesting point where I do think you need just very high quality projects nowadays. Like like superhero movies aren't dead. I think this year proved that superhero stuff aren't dead. Because people are really loving the stuff that's good. Spider-Man this year, people loved it, made a bunch of money. Yes. Guardians this year made a lot of money. A lot of people loved the My Adventures with Superman this year. People loved that. People that actually watched it loved Superman and Lois. And like currently, like I don't think it's one of the best years for superhero stuff, but I would definitely put it out there that like there are a lot of great superhero projects. Loki's going on right now. Gen V's going on right now. These are things people are really loving and enjoying. So I think people just want high-quality things nowadays. There's so much of this stuff. People just want it to be the best it can possibly be.
No, I think you're right. Because the thing is, in the last few years, like Joker, do you remember? Like that wasn't that long ago. I mean, 2019, but still that like. Made like $1 billion, right? Like, so like it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if something's like different to the other. Like in fact, I think they have to be more different now. They have to be more different, and they just have to be really good because the boys has always been like since its first season, a really popular show because it's so good. People watch good things. You're right. Like, and I think because there's so much superhero media still, like obviously. Like we've seen with Kevin Feige and everything, they're not able to maintain that level of quality across so many different projects, and that's the problem. And because of that oversaturation, it's also killing it at the same time. And Yeah, so they just need to be good. They just need to be really good.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, I think it's coming. Like, again, James Gunn stuff, I trust that. Bob is back at Disney, and it seems like I'm not trying to like boost that man up, because currently I'm not doing that. But it does feel like he is trying to push a new era of Disney. Like, it feels like his whole thing has been like, you guys, this company has sucked recently, and I'm trying to get it back to its greatness. If his greatness is still going to be any better than what it was previously, I don't know. But I think he's at least going to change some things. I think and like I've always said, I think Disney listens. Like we're obviously going to get into the last couple of days and what's come out. But I think Disney listens to the fans, and I think they listen to be like, yeah, this isn't working, we're going to change it up. The issue is that they've already done so much that we don't see it for like 5 years.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. No, I think they're trying. I think they're trying, and it's from the sounds of how they're reshuffling things on inside Marvel and everything, Lucasfilm and that kind of thing as well. I think they're trying, and like hopefully they're they're listening and we'll start getting good stuff again. That's what we want, just not as much and make it like better. That's But and I can't believe I'm saying that, like we've been spoiled.
Sure.
We've been really spoiled over the last few years, but also it's now sort of bit us a little bit,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's kind of jump into it. Let's jump into this can of worms. So Daredevil Born Again is being completely reworked at Disney Plus after letting go all of the writers and all of the directors connected to it. Now, this is a show I was very, very excited for. I love the original series. I think it's amazing. Love all 6 seasons. I think it's like some of the peak of like the Marvel TV that we've ever gotten, among like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger and a lot of those type of shows. I love it. And there's been a lot of people who were very worried about the show. And like, I've been like, I think they know what they're doing. I think it's going to be good. So I was wrong, clearly. Apparently the show wasn't very good. The show they were making seemingly was not very good. That Kevin Feige himself are like, yeah, we're redoing it. We're starting over. What was your kind of reaction when this stuff dropped? Because I was very shocked. I was like, this is insane.
I was the same, but there was also a mixture of like, I just saw that headline and I was like, no, we don't need this. This year, it's like you said, it's been a turbulent couple of years sort of for Marvel and the whole superhero. So I saw that, my heart just sunk. I was like, really? Yeah, like I was so shocked because also I remember when they were shooting that before there was a few set photos of Charlie Cox and everything. So I there were a few months, Vincent D'Onofrio posting about how much of a good job they were all doing and all this kind of thing, really sort of bigging it up. So yeah, like it must have been bad, right?
Yeah.
It must have been bad, and like that's not good. And also like I kind of feel for like Charlie Cox and everything as well. Do you know? I'd like because it can't like I don't know. It's not a good look. Like I said earlier, it's not a good look. And I think generally speaking, like we all love the Netflix Daredevil, right? Like love the Netflix Daredevil. I think they were very well received, and from what I'm sure you've read as well of these reports, they say that it was too different to the Netflix one, and that was part of the problem. That some of the stuff I've read, essentially, it like didn't have the same sort of action and violence and all that kind of stuff, which wasn't obviously the bread and butter of the show. But we do want to see Daredevil is a really cool character. We also do want to see him do cool stuff. We do want to see him fight people. So I don't know, the idea that it was like all for the first 4 episodes essentially just a legal procedural where he doesn't do any superhero stuff. I'm like, I mean, it's good they've got rid of it, but what now? Where do we go from here?
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit on the things that we heard the show was going to be doing. So apparently we kill off Foggy and Karen episode 1, which weirdly enough, I kind of like I pitched that in a very different way, like on this channel. Like I've talked about it, but it's done differently because like in my mind, and I think it'd still be a very cool story if like, because like season 1's very long. It's 18 episodes long. There's a lot of story there. So I said part 1 takes place during the blip. Part 1 takes place, they get blipped away, and Matt and Kingpin stay, and the world is like totally different, and Kingpin rises again, and he has to kind of, like, you know, he has to try to, like, cope with the world without his friends, but also, like, try to keep crime under wraps, and crime's at an all-time high. And then, like, the back half is them coming back and him being like, oh my gosh, and that's very different. Like, I think that's a cool idea. That's not what this was. It seems like they're just dead. They're dead, right?
Yeah.
And Matt takes a year off from, like, being Daredevil, which I think is also kind of dumb. Like, I feel like he would do the opposite. I feel like he'd go even harder as Daredevil. I think he would go backwards and be like, no, I have to save everyone I possibly can now that my friends are dead. I like, him taking a year off makes no sense to me. I think that's, like, yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I suppose it would depend on the circumstances of how he died. But even so, that's the thing. But I don't. Yeah, I did all of it. To be fair, all of it. Like the whole killing off Foggy and Karen straight away. I'm like, nope, no. Like, why? You know, I just don't. Because also, like, so predominantly, like, the people that are going to be most excited about this show are going to be people that love the Netflix show, right? Because that's where we that's where we saw it all happen. You know, Charlie Cox, it all started there. So why would you then kill off like the two quite like really important, what they are, they're very important characters to that show? I just think it's a bit of a slap in the face. I don't think it would have worked.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I mean these are fans that like Daredevil fans are so passionate that they brought the show back. Like, they got one of the biggest the biggest companies in the world to bring back their show, to bring it back. Like, they saved Daredevil just for them to be like, yeah, we're changing basically everything about your show. Is insane. Like, why? Don't do that. Just reboot the show. Just have it be like a new Daredevil. Like, I think people would adjust to that. I don't understand. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday. I love the Arrowverse stuff. Like, that's the equivalent of, like, Eric Wallace taking over The Flash and being like, all right, episode 1, I'm killing off Cisco and Caitlin. They're gone forever. And then Barry's going to become into this mass murderer. And it's just like, no, don't kill off your two most important side characters. That's so dumb. People will hate you forever. So, no.
I'm not with it either. And it just... And, you know, obviously they're making the right decision, and then we don't even know what really what really went on. But, like, so obviously they're probably making the right. But it still worries me. It still worries me that, like, these things are happening. Why? Like, why are we living in a world where Marvel Studios have had to like completely start a Daredevil TV show from scratch because it's so bad? Yeah. I'm like, that's none of it's good. Like, none of it's good.
And I think it's so apparent that there are problems in their machine. They have so much problems behind the scenes that we don't see. Daredevil should be the easiest. You have the template. Three people literally, like, you had 3 seasons of worth of, like, homework. You should be like, oh yeah, let's just do this, but more of it. Like, let's just continue that story. You have writers, you had directors, you had all this kind of stuff that knew what they were doing, that were passionate about what they were doing before. Just get them back, bring them in. I will say, like, firing all the writers and all the directors, I don't know how I feel about that directly, because I don't know how much of their fault it was. Like, this shit, like, I feel like most of it falls on, like, the, like, CEOs. The Kevin Feige makes all of these stuff. This was his choice. I don't know how fair it is to fire your writers and directors. They were just following their job. Like, they were just doing their job.
I know. They were just following orders.
Yeah.
No, but I don't understand. All of it's bad. But then I think with Kevin Feige, I think about this a lot. Like, clearly, the people above him, right? Like, because he obviously got the orders. They obviously gave him the orders to be like, right, we need all this Disney Plus content.
Yeah.
And he spread too thin, right? He spread way too thin. But also, 18 episodes is a long season, right?
It is, yeah.
Too long, I think. I've heard they're going to split it into 2. That seems to be what people think. Maybe two sets of 9. But even so, I'm like, I don't really, like, you know, the days of the Arrowverse and, like, all the CW stuff, and, like, we had these big, long 22, 23 episode seasons. But I do think, for me in particular, and I feel that other people feel this way, I don't really think a season for a TV show should be longer than 13 episodes. I think that's the sweet spot. I don't think people's attention spans are there anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking like
sure.
My own, but you know what I mean. I feel like that's long. Maybe it's split into two, fair enough. But and maybe that's part of why they sort of lost faith. You know,
Sure.
maybe what they had, they were thinking spreading that over that many episodes, like that's not going to work. That's going to be boring. I don't know, but
I mean, I always loved the idea of like a long season like that because I love those like I just love TV.
yeah,
And like
yeah,
we're going to
of
get
course,
into it with our next big thing in a second about
yeah,
what they're doing with TV shows. But it's such a massive jump. It's such a weird whiplash from there. Like we're barely giving you 6 episode seasons, and we barely have time to do anything to this show that was like, let's give you like 18 hours of content. It's like,
yeah,
whoa, that's a big jump. And then they also announced that it's going to get 2 seasons as well. So that's like what 33 or like 32 episodes. Like that's a
yeah.
lot. That's a lot of content. Um, so I love it. Like I like the idea of you going back. Like I don't want to speak too soon for non talk, but I love the idea of you going back to what TV is and a more TV like formatted show. I also think it depends how long they are. Like these
Yeah,
shows are like typically like 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. Like, they're not very long at times. So
that's true. Yeah, no, you're right. I think if it was like 18 like full hour long ones,
yeah,
but no, like yeah, normally the Disney Plus stuff is like 35 minutes, isn't it? But what do you think as well? Because for a long time there's been all these rumors that the next Spider-Man film is going to tie into Daredevil, right?
hmm
So there are all these rumors about like Charlie Cox Daredevil like appearing
yeah.
in the next Spider-Man film and Kingpin being the villain, all this kind of stuff. Do you think that's going to change now? Do you think that was ever the case? I'm curious.
Well, that's a really good point because like obviously Echo is supposed to come first, and that has Matt
Yeah,
and Kingpin in it. Did they set anything up there? Are things going to get cut there? Yeah, like we've heard that it's supposed to be kind of like this like trilogy with Kingpin, kind of where it's like Echo and then Daredevil and then Spider-Man. And that's obviously
that's
rumors. You don't know if that's true, but like that's kind of been the idea, which I love the idea. Like we didn't talk about it
yes, me
much, but
too.
like the other like part of the like show was supposed to be about like Kingpin being mayor now and trying to go against like Spider-Man and Hawkeye and like Daredevil and
And
stuff like that. And
Punisher and
I really like that. They should keep that part. I think that sounds really
yeah,
really cool.
100%,
Um,
100%.
and I said it. I think it leads well into the like mutant saga because like if we're already going like towards this idea of like superheroes are dangerous, people with powers and stuff are dangerous. That leads very well to like the like Thunderbolts and also the mutants and the X-Men. Like I think that could be a really fun ongoing story. So keep
Yeah.
that. I actually like that stuff. That sounds good.
No, I'm
Um,
100% with you.
so I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I mean, will
Interesting.
Spider-Man 4 change? Maybe. I think they should. I mean, I think they should just wait on Spider-Man 4. They got so much right now. Like, there's such like this overhaul on everything. Like, I think Marvel as a whole just needs to stop what they're doing, stop
Yeah,
writing, stop creating, focus on the stuff you currently have, and that's I think for Marvel in general. Like, they make too much at once that they don't have
yeah.
enough time to like course correct.
This is the thing, and I loved WandaVision, right? I loved. So getting off topic
Mhm.
a little bit. I loved WandaVision, but it's like, do we need an Agatha show? Like something like it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like where there's a lot of like a lot of stuff, or like I'm trying to think of another example, but like yeah, a lot of stuff we've heard
hmm
about being in development. Like I'm really excited about Wonder Man, right? Because
Sure.
I love the actor playing him, but at the same time, I'm like if making all these sort of like different all this content that like maybe we necessarily weren't asking for,
Sure.
is it going to like I don't want it to dilute the whole thing, and especially on top of that having to then make a film with Sony and get another good Spider-Man out of
Yeah.
it just yeah, so I'm just like you said, I'm just it worries me, it all worries
Yeah. I
me.
mean, it's such a tough battle because like I am excited for like your Iron Hearts and then your
Yeah, I'm
Agathas and your stuff like that, and Wonder Man and like your like Vision Quest, like that kind of stuff. I'm very excited for those, but also like where does this lead to? And
yeah,
like it's such a tough battle that I'm always fighting of like the movie audience being like it's too much stuff, we can't keep up, and me being like yeah, that's fair. But then there's like the comic book side of me where it's like, well, that's what the comics are too. Like comics are always putting out new stories and new characters, and like the comics is always going to have such an edge on the movies because you have time that you can have 50 characters come out a month or like whatever, right? Like you can do that.
yeah,
And with movies, like how do you do that with movies? Do you release comics based on the movie? Like what do you do? I don't know. Like
this is the thing.
It's a tough line.
It is, because I mean, like, the people like us, you know, like all the, like, it's heaven, really. Like, I love it. I love, like, I personally, it's like, if I could just, I was going to say if all I could watch would be this stuff, but I basically can now. But
Yeah.
you know, it's heaven. But I'm invested. I'm invested in how these films and TV shows are perceived by the general sort of, you know, because obviously, like, it's all fine and well that we, like, love it all, but then it's
we
like,
need
if
them
they
to
don't
love
do
it.
well, we need them to love it too, to get more of it, you know, and to get more good
we
stuff.
need your money.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm heavily invested in how well this stuff does. Like,
oh man, yeah, like
you know.
Blue Beetle or just like all the DC stuff this year has been just like, go watch the movie. We want more. We want, like, go watch Blue Beetle. Go watch, you know, like, whatever. Like, it's. They kind of think that we need them in a way.
I know, this is the thing. It's sad. It's sad, but, like, I feel like the conversation keeps going into this zone. But we can't not talk about it, right? It's been a tough couple of years.
It's been a weird couple of years for sure.
Yeah, it's been weird.
All right, let's kind of talk about the second part of this, because not that part, this part. So Marvel Studios are making huge, massive changes on how it makes its TV lineup going forward. In my opinion, and if all this is true, and if all this stays, and, you know, they actually commit to doing this, I think this is one of the best things they could ever do.
Yeah.
I think I've never been so happy about a Marvel news in a very long time. It's been a while. Because on this show, like, at least every other episode, it comes up in some way or another. Like, if any of these shows come into, like, frame, I'm just like, I want Marvel to make TV. Because in my opinion, they have not made actual shows. They've made very few actual shows. Loki's there, some of, like, She-Hulk and stuff, but most of what they are these 6-episode movie events. And it's very apparent with this news that that's how they went about it too. Like, they made them as if they were making a movie, but spread out, seemingly, right?
Yeah, literally, that's exactly what they were. They're just, like, I mean, and I love a lot of them, but, like, Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, maybe my favorite of them. I really like Falcon and Winter Soldier, but at the same time, it was just a film cut up, wasn't it? Like, exactly what you said. The same with Loki. And so, yeah, I totally see what you mean. So, and we have got some really good results from that. Like I said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But
there's some good stuff, for sure.
But also some really bad ones from that set, like Secret Invasion, you know? So, like, I think it's a good thing, you know? So I think it's a good thing that they're doing this, because we've had quite a few of them now in like the 9, format 10, that they're in. Yeah, we've had quite a few. You know, if it means that we get a more, like, proper TV and they're good, because the thing is, like, they don't. So long as they're like, there'll be more sort of proper TV shows now, right? Mm-hmm. But so long as they'll still have budgets behind them. They're still gonna look amazing, right? So it's not. Yeah, so I'm with you. I think it's really, really good news.
And I think this has been a really fun, like, 24 hours for, like, the fans of the past Marvel shows, because it has just been a past 24 hours of people being like, make shows like you made Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Cloak and Dagger, Daredevil, Punisher, but higher budget, right?
Yes,
give those type of TV shows higher. Imagine Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with just a little bit more budget. It's peak. Like, it's so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do that.
It was the same thing that the Arrowverse down as well, wasn't it? Really? Can you imagine if the Arrowverse had like a really good budget behind it, and it did do some really impressive stuff? But, you know, it's the same thing. Like, so maybe this is what this gives us the opportunity to have potentially. 100%. This gives which is good news.
Yeah. So I have this here. So some of the things that they will be adding going forward. Shows will now have proper showrunners. And just that alone tells me that they weren't doing it right. The fact that none of them had showrunners is insane. And also,
think, isn't it?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, sorry, I just said it is weird to think. I didn't mean to jump over you, but I'm just like, it's so mad. They didn't TV shows that didn't have showrunners. What?
That's absurd. It's barely a show. Like, it's okay.
No, sorry. I'm with you.
Shows will now have proper showrunners that write pilots and show Bibles. These shows having pilots now is also I think a win. I think that's so much fun. Again, I don't think like most of these shows didn't feel like they really had pilots. They were just like act one of our story kind of thing.
Yes.
So them having proper pilots, I think, is really cool as well. And then there's going to be a focus on multi-season serialized TV rather than limited series. Literally what I've been begging for years. Multiple seasons, I think, is so important. It is so crucial. I think we're literally seeing that right now with Loki. Like the Loki season 2 trailer is the highest, it's like the highest viewed trailer for like any of these things.
Yeah.
So it's like that should show you that people want to be able to come back and build on these characters and build on the show that we already fell in love with. And I think they already have a couple of these shows that they can do that with, like Miss Marvel. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like it, but She-Hulk, I think could only get better in time.
Yeah.
Hawkeye,
I would. Hawkeye.
Maybe Hawkeye. Maybe. I think it has to be more of a focus on Kate than Clint, though.
Thing. But I think they can get one more. Like, I think you can get one more season out of that, like where it is more, more focused on like her and like the final sort of like final battle for Clint and everything. But no, like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, absolutely. She-Hulk was. Why haven't they announced that yet? Really, There's
been a lot of rumors these last couple months during like the strike and stuff. So I would assume soon. Like, I think. Well, I mean, maybe not announce it yet, because I think maybe you should get your stuff together first before you fully announce any of these new shows. And I would assume we'll get new shows as well, like new shows under this new format. And I'm very excited. I think it's also going to be a rough next couple of years though for like the shows that are still coming out under this old era, because now it's going to be like, oh man, I can't wait until the new era where they have pilots and showrunners and show Bibles and multiple seasons. Like Wonder Man, Agatha, Ironheart, like it's going to be a weird couple years.
Yeah, those ones in particular. I mean, Wonder Man is probably like potentially my most excited out of them. Actually, I'm like just because the whole concept of it being like some Hollywood satire but in the Marvel universe, that sounds amazing. But but again, under this old and what you're saying about multiple seasons as well, it's kind of like, what's the point in it being TV if they're not going to be multiple seasons? Like just call them films then. Otherwise,
yeah.
And I think there is a time and a place for like limited events and stuff. But when
100%.
they're in the MCU, it's like we would like the whole bread and butter of the MCU is that we get to see these characters again and they mix with the others and everything. So I think if you're doing TV shows, just make them multiple seasons, making them like we want to come back and imagine how cool it would be. We get a character that we get to watch on Disney Plus like 3 or 4 seasons, and then suddenly they pop up in the next Avengers film or something. Right? How cool is that? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was trying to do. Like, they were trying to, like, and I'm a massive fan of that show. That's, like, one of my favorite shows ever. But, like, that was the concept, is that we would see the, like, in-between of those movies. It's like, okay, so this happened in the film, so now they have to clean up the events of that film, and then they find this thing, and then that thing could lead to here and here. And, that was the point, until it was so hard for them to do so. I wonder how they're going to course correct it now, because like even now like these shows are having a hard time like connecting to the movies. We still haven't seen a lot of these TV characters in the films yet. We've seen a couple. So I'm wondering how they're going to do that with multiple seasons. Like, can they do it better?
True. Can they do it? Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that's why they've already sort of gone here now, because maybe that worries them. What if they start? It'd be interesting. But I suppose, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm just trying to untangle the mess in my head already of like trying to weave them in between all these films and stuff.
And it's also so hard for them to put out new seasons because they do have to wait for so many other things to come out. Like the MCU's thing is like, okay, we have this like 5 projects down, but this, and this has to come out first. So can you just have like Miss Marvel come out once a year or something, because you have to wait. So I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? So,
and especially if we're getting actors that are then also going on to like be in other projects and other series and other films.
Yeah.
Like just getting the availability for them. And also Marvel are notorious for, starting filming projects without finished scripts and all this sort of thing. So they don't have them written years enough in advance to be able, do you know what I mean? To like organize it.
Yeah.
It feels like to organize it well enough to get the actors in the right place at the right time and make it all, because that's where all these expensive reshoots always come from. So I don't know. And we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, we've seen it for a while now with Fantastic Four, with Blade, with now Daredevil, and this whole thing. It proves that there are cracks in their system that they need to kink out, I think, now. And again, now's the perfect time to do it, right? You can't be filming nothing. We're just now being able to write stuff. I just say, stop the writing, pause, reevaluate your universe and how your system goes. I know recently they, I think they're like VFX people are now getting like they have like a union now and stuff like that. So that's hopefully going to be better. Hopefully the writers are going to get better system. Actors soon. So hopefully they can this is their time to iron out the kinks, and then we can move forward. Hopefully.
I think I think now is like we're almost getting to the last point that they can like course correct and fix it all before. Yeah. Because it won't take long. Because Endgame gave Marvel a lot of goodwill, understandably, for rightfully so, a lot of goodwill. But that goodwill with audiences is slowly, they've only got a few more really really bad projects before. And that's the thing. If the Marvels doesn't cut the mustard in November, you know what I mean? Like I'm worried. I'm worried like if that doesn't do a lot of money and it's really successful and really beloved. That's another bit of damage done to the whole thing. So, so hopefully now is the time. Now is the time.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think like we talked about how it wouldn't be that hard for DC to like course correct. I think Marvel's in an even better spot because Marvel still has a massive audience. There's still people who trust them. You just do a couple of good films again, a couple of good shows. People will be there. Like people will be back on your side. And I think next year is that year. Like their roster for what next year was supposed to be is amazing. Like there's the Captain America 4, there's Thunderbolts, and then there's Deadpool 3. Those I think could all be amazing.
I completely agree. I've been thinking this for a while because Captain America 4 I'm very, very excited about. As I mentioned, I love Falcon and Winter Soldier. Same. I am well behind Sam Wilson as the new Captain America. Like my second favorite current MCU character after Spider-Man. I'm very excited for that film, so I think that's going to be awesome. Obviously, Deadpool 3 is going to have the No Way Home effect for sure.
I think it's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, 100. That is going to be a behemoth, that film. So I think there's good stuff coming, and Thunderbolts as well. Like Bucky, I'm a huge fan of Bucky and Yelena as well. So I think you're right. I get so excited.
Yeah, and I don't even know what shows are coming out next year. I don't even know. I guess. I mean, like Echo comes out, right? We know Echo.
January.
X-Men come out. I know that. And then everything else is like, I have no idea. I think Agatha maybe at some point.
Agatha at some point. I think maybe end of next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like October. I think it's like literally like a year from now. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, which is crazy because then you think that will come out and it would have been like almost 3 years since WandaVision.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Like,
yeah. I mean, like most of these projects were like supposed to come out like 2-3 years ago by that point. Like we were supposed to be so far ahead.
I know.
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So like an Ironheart again that comes out I presume next year as well. And at that point we're going to be a year and a half on from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So
well, I mean, I thought about putting it in here, but I didn't because it was a very strong rumor. And I didn't really trust the source. I didn't want to put it in here. But the rumor was supposed to come out like April of 2025. I'm like, that's so far away. Like, it's done. Like, the show's done. It's edited. It's finished. And it's like 2 years from now. And it's like, what? I'm actually very curious what has to come out before that can even touch our screen. Like, what's in there?
So interesting. Because I feel like before Loki, when was our last Marvel Disney Plus show?
Secret Invasion was
like
the
a while
latest.
ago. Oh, of course, Secret Invasion a couple months ago. Yeah, but obviously I forgot. I forgot that pretty quick.
Yeah, it was She-Hulk, and then like a year break, and then Secret Invasion.
I knew there was a big gap. Yeah, so we have like quite a big gap prior to Secret. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah,
what else have we got coming?
A lot of the like animated projects, like the Spider-Man show is supposed to come out.
Oh, the freshman year.
Zombies at some point.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The zombie one.
What If comes out in a couple months as well. I don't know what they're doing with What If.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What If? Oh my God. Yeah.
December. Like, no, I think it actually comes out on Christmas or something.
It?
Yeah. I think on Christmas Day or something. It's crazy.
That's crazy. I know. And I'm actually, I'm quite excited about Echo as well, just because like I really like that. I wasn't like familiar with that character before Hawkeye, but I really liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Daredevil and obviously Kingpin are in it, so that's like, of course, like
it's rough because like I didn't want to say I was just excited because of Daredevil and Kingpin because that's not fair. It's not their show.
I know,
but also like Daredevil and Kingpin. But now I'm almost like, should I be excited? What are they going to set up there that will never see the light of day? It'd be so bad if like they were cut. If they cut all their things, that'd be insane.
Oh my God!
I didn't even think about that.
God, can you imagine? I mean, well, everything that we've all the sort of rumors we've heard about it, and the fact they're dropping it all at once, people seem to think Marvel aren't too happy with how it turned out. So maybe if that is the case, you can bet they're not going to cut Daredevil and Kingpin. You know, if they've got a stinker on their hands, they're like, well, we've got to keep them because they're going to be the big draw. But I hope that's not the case. I really enjoyed that character. But
it'd be really bad if they like Batgirled it, where it's like this no longer fits into what we're doing, so we're going to get rid of it. I think that would be the worst case. That'd be terrible. Yeah. But I wouldn't put it past them either.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we haven't had a single trailer or anything yet, and like, you know,
it's a couple months away. Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that long away, so I'm kind of.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Marvel, you're kind of a mess currently, but we still love you sometimes.
But we still love you, yeah.
Alrighty, let's kind of. We don't have to talk about this stuff much long, but I did at least want to bring it up. So, new episodes of Gen V and Loki both came out this week. Loki started. It aired its first episode last week. Thoughts on the newest episodes of both these shows? Are you? I know we already talked about it a little bit, but are you kind of enjoying these shows currently?
Really enjoying them. So I'm actually behind by one episode on Gen V, so I'm not entirely.
We don't have to talk about that. That's
fine. But I am enjoying it from what I've seen of the first three. Is it really liked?
Yeah.
Really liked. But Loki, I also really enjoyed. And the thing is, it's strange because the first season of Loki was great, but I think, as we've talked about, like the sort of like the stuff that's come out in between, my enthusiasm for it had dipped a little bit, and then I watched it and I was into it. I was really into it. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Which was refreshing. Which pains me to say. It was no. So I really enjoyed Loki.
Mm-hmm.
It was that same thing of like the movie being cut up into parts where obviously when it ends you're just like, oh, it's like, oh no, I got to wait another. Yeah, but I forgot how good like Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston are together in that, and I don't know how I forgot, because it was a couple of years ago.
Oh, they're so good.
So good, and like just all the banter between them stuff. No, it was really good, and the scene that I really enjoyed. Where Obi, where they're like both communicating with him from different time periods. So well done, so well done.
That was my favorite scene. The editing was amazing. Well. Whoever edited it, man, chef's kiss. They were so good.
It was perfect. I kept and it was so clever as well, and it worked. Oh no, it was really cool. And I often think with Loki as well, and for me, this is a good thing. I feel like Loki is like what Doctor Who would look like if it had like serious money behind it, and like, you know what I mean? And like, because I'm a big Doctor Who fan, Who fan. So like, I see a lot of that sort of like those weird timey-wimey elements in it that I really enjoy, and like on top of that, like the performances. Oh yeah, no, I'm well behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what deal this crew made with Kevin Feige to put it so, like, it's clearly made so differently than any of these other shows.
Yeah.
Like, they're on a real set. They are using these different cameras. They are editing them differently than all the other shows. They're clearly writing them better than all the other shows. I don't know how they managed to put all this talent into the show, but it's so good. And it's weird because it is relatively a 6-episode event. It is kind of the same formula as a lot of your Miss Marvel and your, all those other shows, but it also is the one to me that feels like a show as well. Like, it feels like I'm watching a show. Like this ends, I'm like, oh no, I have to wait till next week, And maybe that's also because it's the first one besides I Am Groot to get a second season. But I'm happy it's back. I'm happy to say, like, hey, this Disney Plus Marvel show, it's back. I've never said that before because this is the first. So I'm glad it's back.
That's a good point, actually. No, I feel I didn't think about it like that. No, it's the first time we've had one back. No, that's true. No, it's really, really good though. Really, really good stuff. And you're right though about how different it looks. Like, also, like, the effect, the CGI and everything, like the effects, it looks incredible, really good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, how is this one ended up? Yeah, exactly. How is this ended up so good? and yeah, very well written, tightly written. I don't know. No, it's I'm very curious, and I'm also, because they reckon Kang is in 4 of them. Is what I've heard. I don't know if you're all 3 or a good chunk of it. Apparently.
Yeah, I think he's on a decent bit, and like, man, he was very scary this episode. Like, he didn't even make an appearance, and this is the scariest I've been of him. And he was like in a movie already. Like, he was the villain of the Ant-Man movies, and I think that showed me, like, you should have just let Loki take care of Kang. Like, Ant-Man, I don't know if we needed Ant-Man. Like, I don't think that movie really did anything.
No, this is the thing, and you're right that he wasn't even in it, and he had such a presence that his presence was felt in every bit of this episode, and it was scary, and it was the first time, like, he got killed. The last version of him we saw was killed by Ant-Man, right? Like, what? Yeah. It's just different, but no, like, the bit. It wasn't the first shot. It opens on the statue of his face. I think that was. The statue of his face, and then that long. I was no. It was foreboding.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, but no, he's meant to, and we've got Victor Timely and a couple of different versions, and So, and I've even. I don't know. I've read rumors they even reckon that, like, he remains might return in some capacity and all this kind of stuff. So which would be really cool. I
also think it's kind of interesting, and this is something I literally just thought of now. Like, Loki was our first main big MCU villain, right? He was kind of the big thing of Phase 1.
Yeah.
A main villain in kind of the first couple things of the MCU, and then he was the one, in my opinion, that really got us scared for Thanos, because he killed Loki. Like, Thanos killed the main villain of, like, the first kind of act of the MCU. And now Loki's doing it again with Kang. He's setting up our new villain as well. So I kind of like this through line for Loki, where he's kind of, like, in every step of the way.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, that's so true. He's setting up the next big bad. And I would be surprised if Loki didn't have pretty integral role in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, right? Like, that seems.
I think he's going to be a main element of those movies.
Yeah. I would be very surprised if he wasn't, which brings me a lot of joy to see, because I'm like, we can't get enough of Loki. So that excites me, and I suppose with all the sort of rumors that after the Secret Wars, the MCU is going to be like kind of soft rebooted, or all this kind of thing. Like, wouldn't it be so cool and fitting to have Loki be such a prominent part, like, right at that end point, and like that, the big climax of it all, when, like you said, that he was the first act of the MCU, the sort of main villain, which is, it's all,
I kind of hope they give him, like, a suit. Like, I want him in like an Avenger suit or something. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. And
I'm just so curious who's in that lineup, because there's so many characters. Like, too many. Like, who do you choose? Is it just everyone? Do you just have like 50 of them? Like, I don't know who you choose for the lineup.
So long as the main 616 MCU Avengers are led by Captain America, that's all I'm like.
Oh yeah.
They have to be led by Captain America, right? Like, that's my biggest request. But they have gotten. This is the thing. The lineup, like, even if you pick, I don't know, even if you pick just the ones you would expect, like you've got like a list of like 8 or 9. There's a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, okay, so I think Sam's there. Sam's 100% there. Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Yep.
I would assume Shuri. I think Shuri would make sense.
I would say Shang-Chi as well.
Shang-Chi, 100%.
Yep.
I think Ant-Man's probably there as well. He's kind of led the charge against Kang so far. Just that alone, that's 6. And then it's like...
One of the Hulks. Which of the are we going to have?
Hulk and Thor is still around. Yeah,
Thor as well. Exactly. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a long list already, and that's not even thinking like, what if they throw a curveball in there, like Moon Knight or something? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot already.
I mean, you have She-Hulk, you have Moon Knight, you have like all the young people as well, and we've heard that like the Young Avengers, Spider-Man. Yeah, like I think you definitely have 2 teams. I think one movie's one team. Yeah. And then the majority of the second one's another, and then at the end they kind of all combine into like your 500 members.
I mean, we all know that Secret Wars, the final battle is just going to be Endgame, but with everyone.
Oh,
right? Like, that's of course.
Yeah, I mean that's not even like take into account all your other like Toby Spider-Man and like Wolverine and like Deadpool and.
This is the
You're right.
Right? It's just going to be that, but with all of them, I would imagine. And the thing is, if they don't give us, and I'm sure Kevin Feige is dead set on making this happening, right? If they don't give us Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman interacting, right? Imagine that. Like, I just think if they want to give me that, because like, a lot of the scoopers lately are saying, "Oh, Secret Wars will be a multiversal Avengers team led by Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and Deadpool," and I'm like. Take my money now. Take my money. Like, if you want to give me that, take my money now.
Yeah.
So that stuff excites me very, very much. But
I don't
just seeing Sam Wilson lead the Avengers. Even that, like, oh god, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I'm personally more excited to see because we have yet to see all of our new characters that we've been getting in Phase 4 and now 5 together. Like, that's what I think I'm most excited to see over, like, as much as I love Toby and Wade and Logan, and I think it will be very cool when all of them combine as well. I think I'm mostly excited for, like, your Shang-Chi with She-Hulk and then your Kate Bishop with, like Miss Marvel and then, like, that stuff I think is what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah. No, I imagine Kang Dynasty, that's what it'll be, that team of Avengers, right? And that's... We need that. I mean, that's the whole. I feel like Marvel have trained us. They know, like, they've trained us. They've trained audiences to be like, if you watch all of this stuff, eventually they're all going to come together and meet. Yeah. That's the deal, right? That's the deal. And it's like, we need that. It's been a few years now. It's been a few years. We've met a lot of new characters. I do kind of think it's time. Can we see them all together, please? And
I think Phase 4 needed that. I think Phase 4 needed something within those lines. I've said on here a lot that, like, Secret Invasion should have been that. Maybe not at a massive scale, but you should have had your Kate Bishop, your Miss Marvel, your She-Hulk in there, I think.
Yeah. No, I think as well. We haven't had any kind of real crossover or team-up event, really, since Endgame. I mean, No Way Home, but that's, like, the multiversal characters. Yeah. I mean, like, in Phase 3, we had Civil War right off the bat. Like,
yeah.
we need to, and obviously, we had Wanda and Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
But I want like a proper crossover again. In my head for years after Secret Invasion was announced, I was imagined that would be quite a big crossover event. We'd see loads of characters. I thought we were going to see Skrulls turning into Captain America and turn into the Loki and go crazy. Obviously not. So we are due some kind of crossover event, I would say.
100%. Yeah. But with that being said, that's all our main news stories today. But we end every one of our shows, starting last week. Last week was our first time doing this, but we end every show with a segment I like to call Each week I tell my guests my very worst dad joke. These jokes are really bad. I have this one here. Y'all, you might want to kill me. So here we go. Did you hear about the woman who poured margaritas in her bird bath?
No.
Enough to kill a mockingbird.
Okay. Why did I? It's the kind of joke where afterwards I'm like, why didn't I figure that out as you were like saying? But it's great though.
It's really bad. Really bad.
That's so funny. I'm guessing you must just have like a big book of these or something, right? And just like...
I literally have an app open that I just read these. But then, thank you so much for hopping on here today. This was so much fun. I had such a blast chatting with you. This was a blast. This part of the show where I normally ask... Yeah, no, 100%. This is so much fun. I normally ask my guests if they have anything they want to shout out. Is there anything that you want to like promo or talk about a little bit?
I'm trying to think, man. Put me on the spot here. I'm just happy to be here. Nothing to sell or promote or anything, but maybe next time, you know. But thanks for giving me that platform, though. This has been wonderful.
Well, Ben's Twitter is down below if you guys at least want to go follow him, show him some love, say that you came from here, all of that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, as far as my side of things, tonight we should be posting our Loki video. Watching Through the Void, no episode of that comes out this week. We talked about The Walking Dead, which was a lot of fun. Watched season 2 for the first time. That was kind of fun. And yeah, we should be back next week, next Thursday, talking about the new season of Harley Quinn, which I'm very excited to chat with. Again, Ben, thank you so much for being here. This was such a blast. I've had so much fun chatting with you. But yeah, without further ado, I will see y'all on the flip side. Bye-bye.